Years ago, nothing in the garden was wasted. A banana peel wasn't trash, it was a promise. Elders dried it in the sun, crushed it by hand, and quietly returned it to the soil. Not in a rush, not with noise, just trust in nature's rhythm. As the peel met the earth, something unseen began to happen. Microbes stirred. Worms returned. What looked like lifeless soil slowly softened, darkened, and breathed again. This wasn't guesswork. It was wisdom passed down without books or labels. Today, that same simple act still works. Dry your banana peels, crumble them, and mix them gently into your soil. You're not just feeding plants. You're restoring a relationship with the earth. Sometimes, the oldest methods still know the way. Why worms matter? When worms return to the soil, it's rarely by accident. They don't move into ground that is hard, dry, or dead. They come when the earth has softened enough to breathe again. Their quiet presence is one of nature's earliest signals that healing has begun. Worms matter because they work beneath the surface, doing what no tool or fertilizer can do as gently. As they move through the soil, they create tiny air channels. These spaces allow water to sink deeper, roots to stretch further, and oxygen to reach places it couldn't before. Over time, compacted soil becomes loose and welcoming again, not overnight, but steadily. Their castings, often called worm waste, are another gift. Unlike harsh fertilizers, worm castings release nutrients slowly. They help the soil hold moisture, support beneficial microbes, and feed plants without burning them. It's nourishment in its calmest form, given back to the earth the same way the earth gives to us, patiently. But it's important to understand this clearly. Seeing worms doesn't mean instant results. Worms are a sign of progress, not a promise of miracles. Healthy soil is built layer by layer, season by season. When worms appear, they're telling you the conditions are right, that life is returning and balance is being restored. This is why rushing the process often backfires. Instead of forcing growth, focus on consistency. Add gentle organic matter, keep the soil covered, and avoid disturbing it too often. Let the soil rest. Let it breathe. Healthy soil is alive, and worms are one of the first signs life is returning. The problem with modern soil. If your garden feels different than it used to, you're not imagining it. Many seniors say the same thing quietly, almost apologetically. I don't know. The soil just doesn't behave like it used to. That observation isn't nostalgia talking. It's experience. Modern soil is often asked to do too much with too little care. Years of digging, turning, and leaving the ground bare have pressed the life out of it. When soil is constantly disturbed, it becomes compacted. Water runs off instead of soaking in. Roots struggle. Worms disappear. What was once soft and living slowly becomes hard and tired. Chemical overuse adds another layer to the problem. While quick-fix fertilizers promise fast growth, they often ignore the soil itself. Repeated use can disrupt natural organisms, reduce microbial life, and make the ground less inviting to worms. Without cover, no mulch, no organic matter, the sun bakes the surface, drying it out and driving life deeper or away altogether. This is why many gardeners notice that plants now need more effort for less reward. The soil doesn't hold moisture the way it once did. Crops seem weaker, yields shrink, and it can feel discouraging, especially when you remember how gardens thrived with far less input years ago. But this isn't a failure on your part. It's a change in how the soil has been treated over time. The good news is that soil can recover. It remembers what it was meant to be. When given rest, gentle feeding, and protection, it begins to respond again, slowly, quietly, faithfully. What banana peel biochar really is. Let's slow this down and be very clear. Because good soil care begins with understanding, not excitement. Banana peel biochar is not burnt waste, and it is not ash. It is banana peels that have been fully dried and then gently charred, not allowed to flame up or turn white and powdery. Once peels become ash, their value to the soil is largely gone. When done correctly, the peels turn black and lightweight, holding their shape. This charred material is not meant to replace compost or fertilizer. Think of it instead as a soil helper. It doesn't feed plants directly. What it does is improve the soil's living conditions so that nature can do the feeding on its own. Charred banana peels act like a sponge underground. Their tiny pores hold moisture during dry days and release it slowly when roots need it. Those same spaces give beneficial microbes a place to live and multiply. Over time, this helps soil stay softer, cooler, and more welcoming to worms and microorganisms. The plants benefit because the soil itself becomes more stable and balanced. It's important to approach this gently and safely. Any charring should be done outdoors, in a well-ventilated area, using a low, controlled flame. There is no pressure to hurry. No need to stand over smoke. If it feels uncomfortable or rushed, stop. This is not about fire, it's about patience. And remember this clearly. This is not a shortcut. Banana peel biochar will not fix soil overnight, and it will not replace good gardening habits. It works quietly, supporting the soil's natural systems over time. Used sparingly and thoughtfully, it becomes part of a long conversation with the earth, not a quick command. This is not magic. It's memory, care, and respect. Return to the soil, one small step at a time. When people hear 24 hours, it's easy to imagine something dramatic: worms suddenly filling the soil, plants standing taller, problems disappearing overnight. That's not what this means, and it's important to say that plainly. Nature doesn't work on deadlines. It works on readiness. Worms do not magically appear in a single day. They hatch, move, and settle according to conditions, not clocks. What can happen within 24 hours is far quieter and far more meaningful, if you know what to look for. Within a day, soil treated gently begins to hold moisture better. The surface stays cooler. Water doesn't rush away as quickly. This alone reduces stress on roots and creates a calmer environment underground. At the same time, microbial activity increases. Beneficial microbes respond quickly when moisture, shelter, and organic material are present. They begin breaking things down, communicating with plant roots, and improving nutrient availability. You won't see this with your eyes, but the soil feels different, softer, more alive. And if worms are already nearby, they may begin to move closer. Worms are sensitive to changes in moisture and texture. When soil becomes more welcoming, they investigate. This doesn't mean they arrive instantly. It means the invitation has been noticed. Think of it like setting the table. You clean the space, prepare the meal, and create comfort. But you don't force the guests to sit down. You make the environment ready and allow life to respond in its own time. This understanding protects you from disappointment. The goal isn't speed. The goal is direction. When your soil begins moving toward balance, even small changes matter. 24 hours is not a promise of results. It's a reminder that preparation works, and that quiet progress is still progress. Step-by-step overview. This part isn't about speed or skill. It's about rhythm. Each step is simple, familiar, and meant to feel doable, even comforting. Think of it as a gentle routine, not a project. First, save your banana peels. There's no rush and no need to collect many at once. 1 or 2 peels are enough to begin. Set them aside the way people used to, with intention, not urgency. Next, dry them completely. This step matters because dryness prepares the peels for the next phase and prevents waste. Let time do the work. When peels are fully dry, they feel lighter and no longer soft. Then, char them gently, not to ash. This is about transformation, not destruction. The peels should darken and change, but still remain recognizable. The goal is to create structure, not powder. After that, crush them into small pieces. Not dust, not chunks, just manageable bits that can blend easily with soil. This step helps the soil interact with the material more evenly. Then, mix lightly into the topsoil or compost. No digging deep, no heavy turning, just a gentle blending near the surface, where soil life is most active. Less disturbance means more balance. Finally, water gently. Enough to settle the soil, not flood it. This signals the soil to begin its quiet work, holding moisture, waking microbes, and creating comfort below the surface. Throughout every step, keep the pace slow. Let the hands lead. No fast cuts. No pressure to get it right. The soil responds best to calm, steady care, and so do we. Why worms like it? Worms are simple creatures, but they are very selective. They don't chase food the way animals do. Instead, they move toward comfort. When soil feels right, worms follow. When it doesn't, they leave. What worms like most is moist soil. Not soggy, not dry, just comfortably damp. Moisture allows them to breathe through their skin and move easily through the ground. When soil dries out or becomes hard, worms retreat deeper or disappear altogether. They also prefer gentle organic matter. Worms don't eat fresh scraps directly. They feed on what those scraps become after microbes begin breaking them down. Soft, aged materials signal safety and stability, not danger. The third piece is microbial life. Microbes are the unseen partners in the soil. They soften organic matter, release nutrients, and create the conditions worms rely on. Where microbes thrive, worms feel at home. This is where banana peel biochar fits in, quietly. Biochar doesn't attract worms like bait. It doesn't force them to show up. Instead, it helps the soil hold moisture longer, protects microbial life, and keeps the ground from becoming compacted too quickly. In other words, it supports the environment worms already prefer. When worms arrive, it's because the soil has become welcoming again, not because they were summoned, but because the conditions were right. That distinction matters. Healthy gardening isn't about control, it's about cooperation. When you care for the soil patiently, worms respond in their own time. Common mistakes to avoid. Most garden mistakes don't come from carelessness. They come from trying too hard to help. With methods like this, restraint matters just as much as effort. A few gentle reminders can save you time, soil, and disappointment. First, don't use ash. Once banana peels are burned down to gray or white powder, they've lost what makes them useful here. Ash behaves very differently in soil and can upset balance if used carelessly. What you want is char, black, light, and still structured. When in doubt, stop early rather than going too far. Second, don't add too much. More is not better. Soil life prefers moderation. A small amount blended lightly does more good than a heavy hand. Think seasoning, not stuffing. You're supporting an environment, not building a wall. Third, don't bury it too deep. Most soil life, microbes, roots, and worms, stays close to the surface. Digging deep disturbs layers that took time to form. Keep everything near the top, where nature is already active and responsive. And finally, don't expect instant miracles. This is perhaps the hardest one. Soil healing is quiet work. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks. Some changes are felt before they are seen: softer soil, better moisture, calmer plants. Those signs matter. This is the kind of wisdom passed down slowly, often without words. Do a little. Wait. Observe. Adjust. The garden doesn't need to be rushed. And neither do you. I remember my grandfather in the garden at dawn, moving slowly, never in a hurry. He didn't talk about nutrients or techniques. He talked about respect. When food scraps went back into the soil, he didn't call it recycling or biochar. He simply said, "Feed the soil gently, and it will take care of you." He watched the ground the way people watch children, noticing small changes, never forcing growth. The harvest wasn't loud, but it was reliable. Looking back, I realized he wasn't just growing plants. He was practicing patience, passing down a way of listening to the land. Let's keep this gentle. Have you ever used kitchen scraps in your garden? Did your parents or grandparents have a soil trick they trusted? If a memory comes to mind, feel free to share it below. Sometimes the best ideas don't come from manuals, they come from stories. Gardening has never been about speed. It's about noticing, about returning care where care was once given. When we slow down, the soil responds, not instantly, but faithfully. Old wisdom still works because it was built on observation, not shortcuts. The hands that came before us learned this by watching seasons, not screens. And when we honor that memory, we find the garden meeting us halfway. Good soil remembers how it was treated, just like people do.